ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु विज्ञेश्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, canto 10, chapter 54, verse number 1. In the previous class we studied how Sri Rukmani Devi did the puja of Ambika Devi, and then she was walking out after taking prasad, and she was looking for Krishna because he had sent Krishna a message that he should kidnap her, and she comes out of the puja, and then Krishna takes her away while everybody was looking. So that's what he ended, it also described how everyone was bewildered by the power of Maya. So in the West, in psychology, Freud came up with this idea of Oedipus complex. So this is actually the Asuric vritti, that Rukmani Devi is the mother of the universe, Krishna is the supreme father, supreme Ishvara. But all these kings, they wanted to take away Rukmani and kill Krishna. This is what Ravana also did. He took away Sita. He was at least that much successful. Here they were not. And then he fought with Rama. So this is Asuric vritti, but Freud made it a general principle that everybody is like that, because probably he was studying Asuric vritti people. So it's not that it is applicable to everybody, not to those who are Devi. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that there Dau bhut sargo loke asmin daiva asurevacha, and that there are two types of people or creation, Devi and Asuri. And there is a similar sloka here. The second line is Devi vistarta pokta asuram partha meshnu, but in another sloka says that Vishnu bhakta prokta daiva asurastad viparaya. Vishnu bhakta is called daiva and others are called asura. So if you see people like Jarasandha, etc., they were not atheists. They were also not asuras like Ravana, that they are going around troubling people. They are actually quite religious. But still they are counted like asuras because they are against Krishna. They are not Vishnu bhaktas. They may be worshipping some other devas. So Vishnu bhakta prokta deva, daiva prokta, and asurastad viparya. So this is because this whole creation is creation of Vishnu, Bhagavan, and it is He who is manifest in everything. It is His energy. But to think it as independent of Him and then try to enjoy it, that's what Asuric vritti is. Asuric vritti is not necessarily that you have to have some horn on your head. So this mentality to enjoy independent of Bhagavan, that is the Asuric vritti. This is what asuras are depicted in that. Whether they are depicted with 10 heads or 1 head, it doesn't matter. But that's what it means, that they oppose the owner, and that is Vishnu. So that's what is also being described here. So Sri Shuka Uvacha, yes. So Sri Shuka Uvacha, iti sarve susanrambdha vahanarohi damshitaha Svair balahi parikrantaha anviyuryuta dhrita karmukaha. So now all of them, they became very angry, susamrabdha, because they saw, as it was described, they were saying that what is this? A jackal is taking the share of the lion, when it was said other way around by Sukdev. So they all got very angry and they climbed onto their chariots, put on the armors, and surrounded by their own army, Bala here means army, they ran after Krishna with bows in their hands. Anviyur dhrita karmukaha. So they want to fight and they challenge. So chatuspanchashat tamo arijayo Rukmi Virupata Bhashmya Prabodha Udvaho Dwarkayam Itiriyate. So in the 50 4th chapter, there is a description of conquering the enemies, disfiguring Rukmi, brother of Srimati Rukmani, giving a talk to Rukmani, and then marriage of Krishna in Dwarka. So this will be described here. Susamrabdha ativa kruddha. So they became very, very angry, because this, it was also said that he has stolen our honor, because it was a question of their honor also, that in front of them they came to marry her, they came in the marriage party, and now somebody takes away the bride, and they're all heroic people, so it's a big disrespect for them. So they felt very insulted. This was a big blow to their ahankara. And kamat krodho vijayate, and krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. They forgot with whom they are trying to fight. As he will say, that not knowing the power of Krishna, they ran to fight with him. And now it is not only Krishna, even Balaram is there, and his brothers are there, Gada and company. So Damsita Dhrita Kavacha. So they put on the armor for fighting. Vahan Aruhya, they climbed onto their chariots, horses, elephants. Anveyu Krishna Manva Dhavan, and they ran behind Krishna, because Krishna was, he took his booty and ran. It's not that he came to see the marriage festival, he came to spoil the marriage festival. Tanapatat alokya yadavanika yuthapaha tasthu tatsam mukha rajan visfurja svedhanunsiche. So when they were coming running, at that time the chief of the army of Yadava, so they saw that they are coming, and they realized that they are coming to attack, because they were all ready, and probably they are shouting, challenging, angry. When you are angry, your voice goes up. So they were all angry, so they all must be shouting. So they saw them. So then they stopped, because they were also moving with Krishna. So they stood there. Tastus tat sammukha, and they turned back. They took 180-degree turn and stood in front of them, ready to fight. And they were making sound with their bows. So Vispurja Swadhanunsicha means they accepted the challenge sound. It's like you take the string of a guitar or sitar or veena and pull it and release, it makes sound. So like that they were making sound with their bows. Aswaprishthe gajaskandhe. So I got the message that it is frozen. Okay, it melted again. So AC went too cold. So they were, when heavy rain comes, so it also comes like an arrow. So they were making the shower of the arrows, just like the rain falls on top of a mountain. So the army of the Yadavas is compared to a mountain, and their arrows were like the rain shower. So Adrishu Apoyatha. That's how it appeared. Rathopasthe Rath Madhye. There is not much comment. Patyur balam sarasarair sarasharais channam viksha sumadhyama savridam akshat tadvaktram bhaya vivala lochanaha. So when this was happening, Then Rukmani also saw this. So you can imagine her situation. She is going with them, but she belongs to the other side. It's a difficult situation. So she saw that the army of her husband, he was not yet husband, but let's say, at least protector. Pati can also mean protector. Pati means husband. So Patyur Balam Sarashare Channam. So she saw that the army of her husband, Sri Krishna, was completely covered by the arrows, just like the shower cover a mountain. So she became worried. So with anxious eyes and feeling little shy, she looked at the face of Krishna. Means, what is to be done now? We got stuck. We could not run away, and these people have come. So Sharasare Sharavarsai. Sharasare means the rain of the arrows. Channam Viksha, being the army was completely covered. And Madhyama Katibhaga. Madhyama means this middle part of the body. So Krishna was not in anxiety. This is amazing. So he says, Prahasya Bhagavanaha Masma Bhairvama Lochane Vinakshati Adhunaye Tavakai Shatravam Balam. So he laughed. See his confidence. So he Bhagavan Sri Krishna, laughing, he spoke to the beautiful eyed Rukmani. He says, do not fear. So Masma Bha Vinakshati Adhunaya. He says, this thing will be destroyed very soon. He pointed to them. He says, Tavakai Shatravam Balam. He says, by your army, these enemies will be destroyed. So he is already including her on his own side. He says, Tavakai Shatravam Balam Vinakshati Etat. That these are all enemies and this is your strength here. And they will just finish them off very quickly. So have no anxiety. So Masma Bhai, Ma Bhaishi. So don't be fearful. Tavkair, your means Asmabhi. So Svesham Tadiyatva Nirdesha Tasya Param Pranaya Vyanjaka. So to call his own army as your army, because Krishna is calling the army which belongs to him, is calling that your army. He could have also said our army. And even then our could include her. But then it will not be very clear when he says our army that he is only referring to himself and Yadavas, or he includes her also. But when he says your army, that makes it very clear that it is your army and you are ours. So he says that this shows his love for her. That this is an expression of Sri Krishna's love for Rukmani. That's why he speaks like this. So Tesham Tad Vikramam Veera Gada Shankarshanadaya Amrishyamana Nara Chair Jagnu Haya Gajan Rathan. So now what happens is that Gada is one of the brother of Krishna. That's what is called Gadagraja. And Sankarshan is also his brother. So Sankarshan is Balram and Gada is his another younger brother. So they all were very heroic and they could not tolerate these people coming. He says, how dare they can attack us. So Amrishyamana Nara Chair Jagnu Haya Gajan. So they started shooting. So these arrows are of various types of arrows according to their shape. They are not always just like a triangle. They also sometimes are round in front, sometimes another shape. A variety of arrows. So one type of arrow is called Naracha. That's what is described here. So it goes and it is round. So it is good to cut. If you shoot an arrow, as you may have seen, it will go and pierce it. But when it is big at front, then it just like you have some like a sword. So it goes at a very high speed and cuts off the neck. So that's the use of that Naracha. So they were throwing Narachas at them. Means they were not sparing, just piercing and then, okay, you don't die, you still survive. But cut. So big cutting started now. By the Narachas. So tat tada sacha sau vikramascha tamiti va. So they were not able to tolerate this enemy coming like this. So they started retaliating, fighting, and they fought very terribly. So now this is what happened. Petu Siramsi Rathinam Ashvinam Gajinam Bhuvi Sekundala Kiritani Shoshni Shani Chakotishaha. So millions of head fell down. That's why I said it was Naracha, they were just cutting. They fell on the ground. Previously they fell with the head. When they saw Rukmani, then also it was described that they fell from the horses, from the chariots, right? Then also it was said. But at that time the head was intact. Now only the heads were falling and body was remaining. So they said that you are quite used to falling down, so don't worry. This is the last fall. You don't have to fall again. Falling, getting up, falling again, that's not good. Fall once and go back. So therefore he says that the heads of people who are on the chariots, who are on the horses, and who are on the elephants, they all fell down. And these heads, all of them had kundal, they had earrings, and they also had helmets, crowns. So heads were beheaded with crowns and earrings. So one after another, one after another, one after another. There was a rain of falling heads and so many crowns. And some of them did not have crown, they had ushnis, which means turban. So turbans also fell down along with the head. And kotisha, millions. Number, don't pay too much attention to number, because people read numbers and then they say, how is this possible? Number may not be always true. This is kavya. Poets, when they write, whatever fits, good. Hasta sashi gadeshvasa karabha uravongrayaha asvashvatar nagoshta kharam martya siramsicha. So it is not only that human beings, their heads were falling down. Many things were falling down. The hands were falling down. And the hands had sword in them. So they were swinging and then the hand is cut along with the sword down. Some had club, the hand was cut, falls down with the club. Some had bows in their hand, the hand is cut, the bow falls along with the hand. So they said, no, don't worry, your weapon will remain with you. and Karbha Uravayo Angraya, and along with that their thighs were also getting cut. This part, palms were getting cut, feet were getting cut. So they were just cutting all around like cook cuts vegetables in the kitchen. Seen how they cut the cucumber? So that's how them. And then not only that, the heads of horses, mules, elephants, camels and donkeys. So they were also falling down. Kharam Marti. Yeah. When the chariots are going and they're shooting arrows, how much arrow you can carry in a chariot? After some time you need more arrows, right? So mules, camels, donkeys are good for carrying weight, right? So they go around distributing arrows. It's necessary. If somebody needs water to drink, some medicine, it's not that only there. This type of arrangement was also there. So they also get killed. Because when the arrows are coming, arrow is not seeing this is a hero fighting and this is just guy is only supplying arrows. Well, let me not kill him. No discrimination, like you drop a bomb, kills everybody. So that's what was there. Anybody who's on the battlefield can be killed. हन्यमान बलानीका वृष्णिभिर्जयकांक्षिभिः राजाना विमुखा जगमुर जरासंध पुरस्सरा. So when they killed left and right like this, which these people never expected, they ran away. So they turned back. Hanyamana balanika. When their Anika, their army, was being killed like this by the Vrishnis, Jayakangshibi, who were determined to win, then they turned back, the kings, because they came to attend marriage. And here they are unnecessarily getting killed. It was not a battleground. If they had come to fight, that was another thing. Okay, we are going in marriage, they are Kshatriyas, they go with their weapons. But what is this? So they turned back, and even Jarasandha, he turned back. Jarasandha Purasara. So Jarasandha was also there. So he also decided. So Karabha Manibandha Akanishtam Karasya Karabho Vahi Ritvamara. So this is called Karabha, just giving a definition. There is no commentary. Shishupalam samabhetya hritadaramivaturam nashtatusham gatotsaham shusyadvadanam abruvan. So who was most dejected was the bridegroom. So they went to him, who was completely depressed, and he has lost shine on his face, and his mouth was parched because he was not expecting, he was dreaming to marry. And this is the same Shishupal who was always abusive to Krishna from his very birth. Kalabhashanam. Remember, it came in the 7th canto that even when he could hardly speak anything, he was abusing Krishna. So that's Shupal. Now you can see how angry he would be at Krishna. That's why when Krishna was being worshipped in the yajna of Yudhishthira, he objected to it heavily. He says, what is this? This guy is not a hero. But he forgot this, that right in front of you he took Rukmani. But there he was saying, why are you worshipping him? He's not even a Kshatriya. So now they all went to Shishupal to console him. Because imagine his dishonor, insult, how he must feel, how this must be a complete attack on his ahankara, absolutely powdered. I'm surprised that he still standing there. So they spoke to him. So now they're worried that he may commit suicide. Or he may take, when you are depressed like that, depressed people can commit suicide. Frustrated people. So they sent and they told him, Bho Bho Purush Shardula. He says, oh, you tiger among men. Daur manashyam idam tyaja. He says, give up pettiness of your heart. You are a hero. And it's just like you play match. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's not that you always win. So don't worry. Life is like that. Na priya priyo rajan nishtha dehishu drishyate. He says even in embodied beings, there is no such thing that there is always priya and apriya. That sometimes something is good and sometimes it is not good. Sometimes it is favorable, sometimes it is not favorable. And remember Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sukhe dukhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jaya. So just remember what he teaches in Bhagavad Gita, Uttishta Uttishta Bharata. So don't be depressed. It's okay. Life runs like that. So whenever somebody is in a depressed state, then you have to give Tattva Gyan. That is the only thing which can work. Or you have to go to a psychotherapist. She can help. But if you are a little philosophical type, then Tattva Gyan is good. Because for common people now you cannot give Tattva Gyan. They don't know what is Atma, they don't know what is body, they don't know all these things. So for them psychotherapy is good. Other people, you can speak Bhagavad Gita, speak about Tattva Gyan. So therefore they are speaking Tattva Gyan. So they are saying, Yatha daru mayi yoshit nrityate kuhake chaya evam ishwar tantroyam ihate sukha dukkhaya. He said, just like you have seen, they used to have puppets before also. So he's giving the example of puppet. So puppet is called Darumai Yoshit. Because they're made of, Darumai means made of wood, like a wooden doll. So he says just like the puppets, they are controlled by the puppeteer and he makes them dance. He's sitting behind, you don't see him, and he just moves the threads with his fingers and moves them. So he says like that Ishvara is the one who is moving everybody. So that's why they are not atheists. So evam Ishwar tantroyam ihate sukha dukkha. He says everything is controlled by Ishvara, Bhagavan, God. And sometimes you get sukha, sometimes you get dukkha. So chakravat parivartante dukkhani cha sukhani cha. So like a fairy wheel, happiness and suffering come. There is nobody who is always happy, there is nobody who is always suffering. It goes in cycles. It just depends on the speed of the fairy wheel. Sometimes when the down is coming, the speed may become less, so you are down for a longer time. When it goes up, the speed increases. The fairy wheel is not moving at a constant speed. For some people, when it is happy time, the speed becomes slow. So you are happy for a longer time. For some people, when you are suffering, the speed becomes 3 times, so that it goes quickly, and for some it slows down. So he says, this is all puppet show, so don't worry. Remain balanced in sukha and dukkha. So kuhako nartaita. So kuhaka means the nartaita, one who is making the puppet dance. Tasya ichchaya eva. So by his will, the puppet dance. Eva mayam jiva lokaha. And he says that similarly the jiva here in the material world is also like that. Kadachit sukhe, kadachit dukhe, api hata chestate pravartate iti. So sometimes he is happy, sometimes he is not in a happy situation, but he should continue doing his job. So iti yavat ishwaradhina iti ishwaram manita vatam api tesham Krishna vemukhyadeva suratvam. So now he makes this very nice point. He says, these people, they believe in Ishvara. They believe in God. So why are they called Asura? He says, Ishwaram manit vatamapi. They accept Ishvara, they honor Ishvara. Then why they are called as Asura? He says, because they are Krishna Vimukha. That they are against Krishna. So therefore they are Asuras. So anybody who is against Krishna or Vishnu, or any avatar of Vishnu, that is what Asura is. Even if they believe in God. Or they may believe in Vedas, but you don't accept the Supreme Person. So obviously for them Ishvara is Shiva most of the time, or Brahma, or Ganesh, or Ishvara is formless. So this is all Asuric thinking. If it is not Asuric thinking, if you are not against Vishnu. Because Krishna says, Yepi anna devata bhakta yajante shraddhanvita tepi mameva konte. They also worship me, but if they are against him, then it's Asuric. So this is a good point made here. Shaurehe shaptadasha hamvai sanyugani parajitaha trayovinstibhi senir jigye ekam aham param. So now Jarasandha is giving his own example, because the best way to convince people is to give a living example. So he said, look, I am the good example of not getting depressed. He says, I got defeated by him 17 times. He is admitting, this is brave to admit like this. Generally, Kshatriyas don't admit like that. He says that I got defeated saptadas dashaham vai sanyugani parajita. 17 times I was defeated by Shauri, Krishna. And not only that, I had an army of 23 Akshonis. Trayavinsti bhirshani. We don't have anything in comparison to what I had. And still he defeated me. And he says, I won only one time, when Krishna ran away. Remember, he ran away and he was running behind him. He's calling this as his victory. Krishna did not fight, so he thinks that he won. So he says, that's how you should be. Don't give up. Stand up and fight. Uttishta, uttishta. So you got defeated now. Gather your power, come again, and one day you will win. So don't lose hope. Have utsaha, nishya, dharya, then you will be successful. So you see, he's boosting his ego. So shaurahe sakashat sanyugani vyapya sanyugesu va parajitaha parabhuta trayovinshti rakshani sankhya eka param ekasmin antimam eva sanyuge jigye jitvanasmi. So he just saying that I got defeated by Krishna 17 times, only one time, the final one, that I win. So don't feel bad. Tathapi aham na shochami na prahishyami karhichit kalena daiva yuktena janan vidravitam jagat. He says, therefore, I am neither in grief nor I am happy. I am in a balanced state of mind. I am not saying that I won over Krishna, therefore I am jumping up and down. When I was defeated, I did not get depressed. I did what was supposed to be done. I had to take revenge from him. So I made him run away from Mathura. So he lives in Dwarka now because he killed my son-in-law. So he says, therefore, be like me. Tathapi na sochami na pravishyami. I don't grieve, I am not happy. He says, why? Kalena daiva-yuktena janan vidravitam jagat. Because I know that this whole world is moving on the principle of karma. So daiva means karma, daiva-yuktena kalena. Time, which is combined with fate. That's what runs the show. So this was bad time for you. Your karma was not good. That's why he is successful. So wait. Chakravat parivartanta. One day you will have good time. So daivam drishtam tadyuktena vidravitam shangshovitam. So daivam means adrishta, means fate. And time combined with fate is what gives the result. So don't worry. Adunapi vayam sarve virayuthapayuthapaha parajita falgutantrair yadubhi Krishna palitai. He said, just see now, at present also what happened. That we are all heroes. And this Krishna is nothing. But we got defeated by him. So why? Not that he is a great hero. It's just that it's a bad time. Adhunapi vayam sarve veera yuthapa. He says we are all heroic and we are all commanders of army yuthapa. There are so many people under us. But we got parajit. We got defeated. By whom? Falgu tantrai, insignificant, completely insignificant army of Krishna. This is how fate works. So don't worry. Don't be disheartened. Falgu tantrai tuchha parichadde. He says, what is their army is tuchha. Absolutely insignificant. He says, have you ever heard anywhere this Gada, Sankarshan, all these people, they fought any war anywhere? Nothing. They were tending cows. This Krishna, what does he know about fighting? He was tending cows. But it's his good time. Repo jigyuradhuna kale atma anusharini tada vayam vijayashyama yada kalaha pradakshina. He says now the enemies have won over us because of time. Kale atma anusharini. Because time is favorable to them. And one day the time will favor us. Then we will be victorious. Vayam vijayashyama yada kalam pradakshina. When the time will do pradakshina, means it will go another cycle, because the grahas are moving all the time. The planets move, and according to the planets, sometimes you get in a good time, sometimes in a bad time. So now it is not a good time. So relax, let's go home and wait for the good time. एवं प्रबोधितो मित्रैश्चैद्योगात् सानुगः पुरं हतशेषा पुरस्तेऽपि ययुः स्वं स्वं पुरं नृप. So when he was preached like this by the friends, then Shishupal, he returned back to his city along with his followers, Sanuga Puram Agat. And then others also who remained, because many died, so Hatashesha, those who were still alive, they also went to their own respective cities. Swamsam Puram Nirpayayo. So good lecture by Jarasandha. He convinced everybody. So everybody returned. So Pradakshina Anukula Yada Syat. So Pradakshina means favorable time. When favorable time will come, then we will see them. Rukmito Rakshasho Dvaham Krishnad Vidaya Sahan Swasuhu Prishthato Anugamat Krishnam Akshahinya Vrito Bali. But when all this was happening, then Rukmi, who was against Krishna, who hated Krishna, so he was very intolerant. Asahan Swasu. He could not tolerate that his sister has been taken forcibly by Krishna and is going to marry her. So he gathered his army, Vanakshoni, and he came running behind Krishna. So all these people left. Now comes Rukmi. Rukmi amarsi susamrabdha shinvatam sarvabhubhujam pratijagye mahabahur dharmshitah sasarasana. So he was completely intolerant and extremely irate, angry. So when all the kings were standing and listening to him, then he took a vow in front of everybody while he had his armor and the sharasana. He had his bow and arrow. So listen what he said. He says, Ahatva samre Krishnam apratuhya cha rukmanim kundinam ne pravekshami satyam etad brahmi vivaha. So he says that I will not return to Kundin, the city, without killing Krishna or without returning Rukmani back. Which basically means that I won't be able to kill him and I won't be able to get her back. If he has to say, he should say that I will come back to Kundinpur. He is making all negative statement. I will not come back to Kundinpur without killing Krishna and without getting Rukmani back. So no positive statement. Ahatva samare Krishnam apratuhya cha Rukmanim kundinam na pravekshami. I will not enter the city of Kundinpur. And satyam etad bravibi. I am saying this truthfully to all of you. You are all witness of my vow, and I vow I am taking this vow and I will keep my word. Either I will die, and if I am not victorious, then I am not coming back to the city. So Amarsi means asahishnu, not able to tolerate. Susamrabdha means very angry. So you can see these are good study of ahankara. Those who want to study ahankara can study these slokas, how ahankara works, especially when there are many people around and they all got defeated. So now this person has to show his ahankara that I am better than all of you, right? This is what it means. That you went and you all came back. Shame on you. Look, I am going and I will not come back to Kundinpur unless I get Rukmani back. This is what he is saying. So this is how the Kshatriya ahankara. Everybody has ahankara like that. Kshatriya has little extra. Yeah, Kshatriya's ahankara is a little extra than others. Rajasic. Saiti yuktva rathamaruya sarathim praha satvaraha chodayashvan yata krishna tasya me sanyugam bhavet. So after saying this, he was already dressed up for fighting with his bow, arrow, armor, everything. So he climbed the chariot and he told his chariot driver that quickly move the horses where Krishna is, and today you will see a big battle between me and Krishna. I will not leave him. Adya aham nishitair banai gopalasya sudurmatehe neshe viryamadam yena swasa me prasmam hata. So today I will take away the pride of this Gopal, because he is not considering him as Kshatriya. He says this Gopal, foolish Gopal. Gopalasya sudurmate, not actually foolish. He says very foolish. He says, I will take away the pride of my sharp arrows of this foolish cowherd boy who has forcibly taken away my sister. Today he will see who I am. So ahatva bharati pakshe agyatva pratuhiya anivartya anirmochaitiva. So he says that according to Bharati or Saraswati, the meanings can be different, because he is going to speak all these disrespectful statements. So they will change the meaning. So he says ahatva. Handhatu means to kill, handhatu also means to go. And hinsa gatyaho. And to go also means to understand. So it means that I will not return because I don't know Krishna without knowing Krishna. And aprutihya means anivartya. Neshe gamishyami harishyami ityartha. So I will take away his pride. That is the one meaning. And the other meaning is bharti pakshe kripavati drishteshu api matiriyasya satasya. So Sudurmate, he is commenting on that. So Sudurmati. Sudur means dusht. Mati means buddhi, which means that kripa, dushteshupi matiriyasyatasya. So means he whose grace falls even on the wicked people. That is the meaning of Sudurmate. And Nishitair Banair Virya Madam Swaparakramam Garvam Madam Neshe Yapeshyami Duri. And he is twisting the meaning that I will take away his pride of valor. He says that I will go to him so that he can remove my pride. Neshya means prapyashyami, means let him take it away because I am too proud. So that is another meaning. And we will stop here if there is any question to ask. Okay, Gustav.
Pranam, Babaji. So, you were speaking about psychology and the unconscious. So, some people say there is a collective unconscious that's...
There is what?
You're in the collective unconscious.
Collective unconscious. Yes.
Yeah. So, is that supported by Shastra?
Yeah, that is Mahat Tattva. Have you heard of Mahat Tattva?
Yeah.
Okay, study Sankhya, 26th chapter, 3rd canto. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
You also explain it in Tattva Sandhava.
Okay, anything else? Indra, is it frozen again or what?
No.
Pranam Babaji. In these verses, there are descriptions of very violent events.
Yes.
Heads which are carved, and so on.
Yeah.
And there are so many descriptions like that in Bhagavad Gita and so on. And on the other hand, we are requested to be non-violent. And I would like to know if...
Who is requesting you?
As I understand it, it is one of our basic principles.
Whose principle?
And
Where?
I want basic principles of Vaishnava.
Where? Non-violence. So these are army people. Army people are requested to be non-violent?
No, my question doesn't concern armed people. The question is, are there explicit events or explicit verses where Krishna or Kapila Deva would talk about non-violence?
Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, you have read Bhagavad Gita. Have you read Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
So 12th chapter you read, please. Read 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the smallest chapter. Krishna says, Advaishta sarvabhutanam, Maitraha karuna evacha. He says Advaishta means not having hatred for anybody, which means non-violence, and friendly and compassionate on all. He's talking about, he says, my devotee is like that. But not if the devotee is in the army, then he has to fight.
Okay. And in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, are there such verses about non-violence?
Oh yeah, many verses. Kripalu akridroha, Krishna says in 11th canto, Kripalu akridroha. He says he's Kripalu and akridroha, he does not hate anybody. And he says he's tolerant. Even if somebody abuses him, he does not retaliate. He says, what is that? Shapto api, even if somebody curses him. Like Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed. He did not retaliate. He could have retaliated. He was king. He could have called this boy and gave him a slap. Right? That stringy boy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Aditya.
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
Babaji, based on the description, apologies for my voice, based on the description of the battle that was described today, can we assume that there were no casualties on the other side?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.